We return to Ladies Can We Talk with host Debbie Georgatos on 660 AM The Answer.
Hello, welcome back to Ladies Can We Talk. I'm really happy to say we're starting a new segment, or at least an occasional segment, Talking to the Talkers. And I believe we have online Mark Davis. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Debbie, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm so glad you're online with us. And I meant to say, when I say us, I should have reminded you before the show that I have my leading ladies here sometimes too. So I have Carrie Kellerman and Jenny McGarry chiming in. Also.
Hey, Mark, praying for you.
Mark. Hey, Joy, great to be with all of y'all. How you doing this Sunday night?
Good.
We're good. Well, I want to talk with you about Ben Carson. I saved this juicy topic to talk with you about it because, I have to say, even when the first story came out from Politico that was saying, or I was hearing about it, saying, Ben Carson lied. He turns out he didn't get admitted to West Point. The whole thing was made up. It just, my first reaction to it, this doesn't ring true. Ben Carson is not that kind of guy. How did you first react when you heard this story?
Well, all of these things are coming at the same time. It's like we have the did he or did he not have a violent past? What exactly happened at West Point, and what exactly does he believe about the pyramids? It's like, all right. So we got to sort through all of these at the same time, and a similar narrative comes to mind. And with regard to media coverage of candidates, it's a consistency check. If we are going to scrupulously, with a fine-tooth comb, examine every single thing that candidates ever did, ever said, or ever believed, okay, I can play the field stripe that way, no problem, and I can accept that for Ben Carson or any other Republican. But if that is the way we're going to play, then doggone it, can we pay some attention to the backgrounds and the specifics of the pasts of Barack Obama circa 2008 or Hillary Clinton today? So pick it, media. Pick what way do you want to do it? Do you want to be selectively attentive, say none of that matters, let's just focus on what they believe now? That's fine. If you want us to do that for the Obamas and the Hillary Clintons, then you owe us the same for our candidates.
Don't you think it's remarkable, though? Because I think it's exactly right. And I think a lot of people around the country thought, why isn't anyone still looking into enforcing answers on, just pick one, Barack Obama's background? But, somehow this template has been set in the media. Honestly, it seems like for decades, where as long as Hillary or someone on the left says, we've already talked about this, we're done with this, this is old news, the move on thing, and the whole media salutes and moves on. It's like the only one to do that is talk radio.
Correct. And the candidates on the left are the beneficiaries of a certain phenomenon in which if a candidate is asked something 500 times and answers it completely insufficiently, that candidate can still say, we've settled it, I've talked about it, let's move on. And the media will, in fact, do so. Here's the weird thing. People say there are so many questions about Barack Obama's past in 2008, so many questions about Hillary Clinton now. Not really. We know the answers. We knew in 2008 that Barack Obama was extremely fond of hanging out with the most distasteful, radical, America-hating, sometimes even violent America-hating creatures. Yep. We elected him anyway. And in 2015, people say, there's still so many questions left about Benghazi. Really? How many questions are left? I mean, some of the minutia about security and preparedness and who ordered the stand down or whatever. But we know she lied. We know she lied and why she lied. So it's not so much a problem of not knowing the answers. It's that we do know the answers, and modern journalism, a complete failed corrupt exercise, fails to follow through.
It's a fails to follow through. And on top of that, it's just somehow that frustration that it just doesn't seem to matter, because certainly in both cases, we know enough to know that there are bad things there, but we can't seem to force a consequence. We in the right can't force a consequence to anything that Hillary has done or anything that Barack Obama has done. And it's really because the media doesn't carry through the consequence. They don't pummel. It's like every time Richard Nixon's name was ever mentioned for all time, it'll be who resigned in disgrace. But there's never any media follow-up on everything we know about the left. It just gets left alone.
Absolutely correct. And so which leaves us to the only thing that we can count on, and that is a political consequence at the ballot box when people get sufficiently, when they are sufficiently repelled by such behavior. This would have happened to almost anyone else with Barack Obama's background, but it didn't because he had the first black president, let's make history thing going for him. Any man, any other human being, maybe even a number of other women with Hillary's baggage would have been toast a long time ago. But it's her. She's the queen. She has the I told you so factor. She is the media darling. They get immunity from that. Now, it's immunity that lasts only so far because Hillary's numbers are somewhat suspect. She is not viewed as honest or trustworthy. Her likability is down. Her unlikability is up. But here's the tricky thing about Hillary Clinton and honest and trustworthy. She is viewed as objectively not trustworthy. But that's on things that, we all care about, like telling the truth in tough situations and shooting straight with the American people. What the left knows and what Hillary's base voter group knows is that they absolutely can trust her to do Democrat things. They can trust her to raise taxes. They can trust her to make government bigger. They can trust her to lead from behind. They can trust her to get government into our lives. As long as they can trust her to do those things, they could give a flip about trusting her about Benghazi.
Okay, I swear, you have no way to know this. That's exactly the point I was going to make. The left does trust her to do what they want her to do, and they don't really care what happened with her husband, how she treated the Bimbo Eruption Squad, what she did in the foundation, how much money she took from whoever it was for foundation help and then gave them a favor in some way. They just don't care. And I think that is the difference. It's really the base voters on the right versus the left that causes the consequence on the right, but not the left.
I remember my parents in 1968 when Nixon first won. I was 11 years old. And my parents either were starting to get me into current events, and I guess I should thank them for that because I guess it all worked out very well. And I remember when he ran in 68 and in 72, my parents told me that they just thought that Nixon was a much better leader than McGovern or a much better leader than Humphrey in 1972. And so they were big Nixon fans. When it became clear that the Nixon White House was crooked and involved in a deception game, they bailed. They said, we can no longer support Nixon because of what he has done. I would pray that if any of these things happen to a Republican frontrunner or Republican president, that conservatives of conscience would say, oh, my God, we support your ideology and your agenda, but you're just no longer an acceptable leader. I would hope conservatives would do that. I hope we don't get the chance to find out. But it's proven that liberals do not. They just don't care. If the agenda check boxes are marked, they just don't care. And that means the media do not either. It means that 2016 is a big challenge no matter whom we nominate.
Amen to that. You know what? We have, as you know, about a minute left, I think, or no, about a minute and a half in the segment. I just want to ask you, changing subjects entirely, to the debate coming up this week. I think it's just, I'm kind of happy that some of the players, the very low polling players, were taken out. And so we end up with 8, I think, on the main stage. Trump, Carson, Rubio, Bush, Fiorina, Cruz, Kasich, Paul are the 8 on the main stage this coming Tuesday. So I guess, my basic question is, so, who are you going to watch for? Who's likely or who needs to, what do you see happening in light of all the news this past week?
All right, here's the 30-second version. We have co-front runners in Trump and Carson. The main goal is make no mistakes. We have 2 guys in Rubio and Cruz at solid 3 and 4, the second tier, waiting for those voters to come to them if anything goes wrong with Trump or Carson. The main headline of Tuesday night could be, watch Chris Christie on that suddenly small stage where he will dominate, he will do great, and God bless the other guys. They're all good people on that small stage. But Christie on the small stage, while John Kasich and Rand Paul are on the big stage, is a disgrace. Christie will take, he'll take advantage of that.
Great point. We're talking to Mark Davis on 660 AM The Answer. We're up against break. Thank you for calling in.
God bless you guys. It's great to be with you. So proud of you, Debbie, and great to be with all you ladies.
Thank you,
Mark.
sir. Debbie Georgatos, Ladies Can We Talk? 660 AM The Answer. Come on back after the break.